Saturday America time because it is a bad time in the opposite side of the world and a bad time here. So when better to try and get people to look at you drawing something legendarily popular on Twitch already. I was working on Mr. Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm sorry the audio was bad last time. I was experimenting with noise cancellation. I still am, but a more conservative version. So we'll see how this works. I got bored last night and continued working on Mr. Jinn here. Very subtle changes between the first two panels. Just a slight difference in his expression, and his arm position changed a bit. Obviously the smoke got rolled. And just other very subtle things, like his hair is a bit bigger than it used to be. It droops a bit more. His front arm position also changed. His torso is oriented a little bit more forward. And the final panel it's generally a nearly full redraw, which I was trying to avoid, but I wanted him to pivot a bit. The hand positioning is wrong. We're gonna fix that, and he's gonna be lighting his little smoke with his lightsaber, and then it'll be finished. Oh, I'm having frame rate issues, so I'm going to end the stream and then immediately restart the stream. I think that'll be better. Sorry. Oh, I hate when that happens. It like messes up my whole flow. Okay. Anywho, yeah, I just did a little bit of a redraw between the last two panels to orient his body correctly as he's bringing his left arm around. Ignore the fact that he's holding his lightsaber in his left hand. I've decided he's a lefty. Maybe he is. What? I wish I hadn't thought of it. Let's see. Wrong folder. Where's the correct folder? Quigon? Quigon. No. No, he's definitely right hand dominant. The upper hand is like your power hand. It's where the force is coming from. The force. Oh well. He's using his right hand to do force stuff. He's right hand dominant. Shut up. Okay. I think I left my color label. I think I left my color layers on all of these intact so that I could use them as references, even though it's effectively a redraw. Oh, spooky eyes, okay. And there's the normals. And I'm just gonna make a new layer on top of that. And I'll be able to differentiate them because the copied ones say copy. And I've already got his skin tone selected, so I'm just gonna lay it in real quick here. It's gonna be kind of lazy on the edges because A, I can't really see what I'm doing too well, and B, I will be coming along and filling in his hair color after the fact anyways. Okay. Now I do magic wand, expand the selection by a couple pixels, 3, and a fill. Now I'll grab his hairs, and I'll so I can see what I'm doing now. My little impromptu Star Wars smokes project has gotten me to thinking more about this old movie. And it is funny to call it an old movie. I guess for a lot of people it is. And how close to something halfway decent it could have been. It's a lot of caveats. But I think about, like, Liam Neeson is a great actor. Despite the fact that he just plays angry dads now. He's still a great actor. And I think he was wasted on the role. Would have been great if the movie were generally a bit less racist than it is. Basically, that's interesting. Oh, that's his hood. Okay. Basically, I've come to the conclusion that the fellow who's writing the Mandalorian series... Hey, Forrest. No kidding, right? I think the guy who's writing the Mandalorian understands how to write Star Wars. And I don't know of many other people who do. Like, I love Knives Out, so that director is, whose name I can't remember, so that's rude, is one of my favorites, but I don't think he's right for Star Wars. And after reading a bit about the original movies... Yeah, Ryan Johnson, thanks, Forrest. After reading a bit about the original movies, the one I liked the most is Empire, and it wasn't directed by Lucas. And my second favorite... I honestly don't know what my second favorite Star Wars movie is. I don't like most of them. But basically I've concluded that Lucas should not be allowed to direct them. But he doesn't own them anymore, so it's not a problem. Pacing fits better. Last Jedi. Yeah, that would have been, like, cool as a show, or episodic. I honestly don't know why Empire is my favorite of them all. I think it might just be because it surprised me as a kid. Because you never see movies where the baddies, like, have the upper hand at the end. This movie came out shortly before my first attempt. Well, yeah, several years actually before I tried art school. And I went to a private one online because I was working at the time. And I ended up dropping out because I did the math and realized I would quite literally never be out of debt if I continued. Lucas's ideas, you mean, Forrest? Or Ryan Johnson's? Yeah. When I watched that movie, man, I was like, this is good. Like, He's doing different things with Star Wars, which is something I've been jonesing for a long time, because I'm just tired of TIE fighters and lightsabers. But I don't think the audience was ready for him, and it's clear that the other directors involved in the new movies also, well, the other director, wasn't on board. Like, they were fighting each other between their movies. Like, Lucas is a visual arts or was a visual arts visionary, because he resurrected special effects. Like, it was a dead thing in film when he came along and said, no, I think this has still got legs. Yeah, the desire to do new things is something that I feel is lacking in Star Wars. Or maybe the desire is there, but I have a lot of friends who love Star Wars. I am a passing fan at best. And when people try to do the new, like, radical things, like, for example, End the Jedi, which I thought was a great idea because, you know, according to the expanded fiction, they're kind of a cult. You've only seen 4 eps of Mandalorian? Oh, man. They're hit and miss for me. I just love the general world that's being made there. The episodic thing I really like. I like to think that kids are probably going to save Star Wars, because kids are watching the cartoons, and they're more open to different things and different stories being told, I think. I thought Rogue One could have been amazing. Like, I was watching the previews and I was like, this is gonna be a dang spy heist movie, and I was psyched, and that is not what it was. That's just my opinion, though. That's just what I was looking for and didn't get it, because I have friends who loved it. Eat your toastal strudel. All right, brother. Enjoy your day. I'll holler at you later. Bye, bud. But yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with Star Wars, and now I've degenerated into just apathy. Because, like, as a kiddo, I had these cool, like, story ideas in my head, and neat little character modifications. When I was young, not little, but like 16, we had never seen Yoda fight. And I was reading, like, expanded lore and stuff. And this fella wrote a book, this fella whose name I can't remember. And the book was called I, Jedi, I think. And in that book, we follow the career, for lack of a better word, of one of those, like, rare found as an adult, trained as an adult situations. And the book is written from the protagonist's perspective, and he tells of the differences in the combat training between the different masters according to their skill sets. And when you watch the original movies, Yoda is a wise little goblin. He's not a fighty boy. So his way of winning, like, force conflicts between, you know, in the sparring matches, was mental. Like, he would create ghost images of himself. Basically, he would not be wherever the other person was attacking, and just confuse them to the point that he could win, because that was his way of expressing advantage. And then the prequels came out, and Yoda was a fighty boy, and I was like, oh, okay, that's an idea, I guess. But my brain kept going back to that book, and I started thinking more about just, like, all of it in general, and it occurred to me that maybe, just maybe, this thing, as is not suited to being expanded into a full-blown universe without some simple logical modifications. Like if you have Jedi, like the fish man, the fish guy Jedi master who got cut down real fast when they went and got Palpatine. Him having the same kind of lightsaber as like everyone else, like a Mace Windu guy or a human, didn't make sense to me, because he has tendrils all over his head, and when he's spinning around, he definitely gonna cut one of them bad boys off. Because in a universe where you have like Hutts, and according to the expanded lore, there is a Hutt Jedi who are not going to be able to move around real fast. The fighting styles should be adapted to the species, and the weapons should be adapted to the species. But when Lucas made this movie, it was just peeps. Because the technology didn't exist to have all these weird monsters running around. And the Jedi robes are just desert attire, like, to my mind. Because who did we see that was a Jedi? That was Obi-Wan Kenobi, who lived on a desert planet where you wear nice, loose-fitting, flowing garments so you don't burn up. But because that happened, that became Jedi robes. Just, little things like that. I think people treat their Star Wars with a religious reverence that may not be appropriate. What's going on here? Front arm. I'm in the wrong panel. I'm in the wrong panel. Back down here. Let's collapse this. Let's collapse the panels we're not using. There we go. Front arm. There we go. Okay, I need to leave the front arm alone. I need to do the torso. I'll lock in the torso, and then I'll modify the front arm and back arm to get the hand positions correct. Coloring last. Lines first. Front arm, torso. Grab that color. And let's make a new... Ooh, that's interesting. I already made a new layer there. Did I? Yes, for the neck. Duh. Where's my head at? Thinking about Star Wars. So basically my way of trying to enjoy Star Wars now is to not think about it. And I think that might be sad. Because as a youngin', I derived a lot of enjoyment out of thinking about it and, expanding the stories in my head a bit. But I have come to accept that it's not mine. And therefore, I shouldn't act like it is. So I'll just be passive. I'll be a passive consumer of the Star Wars sometimes. To be perfectly honest, I almost didn't see the newest movie. In fact, I only went and saw it. I went and saw Knives Out. And I loved that movie. It was one of the best theater-going experiences I've had in my adult life. Primarily because it never lied to me. All the pieces were there to figure out the mystery if I wanted to, and I really respect that. I'm sorry about clearing my throat so much. I woke up kind of congested. But then a couple of weeks passed and I was bored and COVID hadn't come to America yet, and I was like, well, I'll go see a Star Wars. Why not? Just let the spectacle roll over me. Plop down in the theater, order my food. I'm honestly enjoying that little opener where it's just bit of what's his head? Bad guy. Kylo Ren. Finding Palpatine's planet. because I was understanding what was happening. It wasn't wasting a lot of my time. It did feel a little bit. It did honestly feel a little bit rushed. And then we got to Palpatine's planet. Like, to be honest, I started laughing during the opening scroll when it's like, Palpatine's back, because I had seen a cartoon of Palpatine falling out of the Death Star and like landing on this desolate moon, and then like waking up and climbing into a big chair, and I was like, that's silly, because I knew nothing about the new movie. I didn't know Palpatine had come back. I'm so extremely offline that I hadn't seen any spoilers. Without even trying to avoid them, I just don't spend a lot of time on the internet. So when Palpatine turned up, or was mentioned in that opening crawl as having, I guess, done a radio broadcast to the whole galaxy, like, yo, what up? I just started laughing, and I knew I was in for a good time. An old bad boy gets to Palpatine's death world, and it's just a big jar full of Snokes, and I was like, oh, this is a soft reboot. Just a big old fish tank full of floaty Snokes just marinating there, waiting to be, I guess, plopped out into the world. I keep seeing videos pop up on YouTube of people explaining this, that, and the other about the new movie, and and then new articles popping up being like, so-and-so tells all about what happened in this crazy, wacky scene and why it actually makes sense. And I'm like, y'all, if your movie doesn't make sense in the theater, you messed up. And this is from someone who has no skin in the game anymore. I don't care. I just care about stories. I care about some cohesion. I have no dog in the fight of the whole drama with Disney and all that. I don't care. I just like a good reminder sometimes that some of the most highly paid, highly skilled people in an industry can still just really throw a miss. Makes me feel better about my own shortcomings, I guess. Because, like, in the end, it's just a dumb movie and it doesn't matter, and no one should care as much as they do. You should just watch the movie. You don't have to be a professional movie critic if you don't want to. Just enjoy it for what it is and, move on. Okay. I need to think about this. This color here has to go, because this arm may be changing drastically. Actually, this is on the original layer, so it doesn't matter. I'm getting rid of all that anyway. Is the torso done? Well, flats-wise, I think it is. So I'm gonna fiddle with the arms. I'm going to get the back arm positioned correctly first, because that's going to be holding the smoke. At first I thought he was going to be like force gesturing the smoke into his mouth, but I think it's funnier if he's holding it. And then the front arm will be forward, and the lightsaber, which is my stylus, will be like here. Okay. I need to put a mirror up here somewhere so I can make silly expressions at it and do faces better. And maybe hands. Back arm. Yeah, I remember when the new movie started coming out, being so excited. So I was like, holy cow, someone has clawed Star Wars away from George Lucas. That's amazing. And then I started thinking more about it. I was like, oh, it's just a $1 billion corporation, and you know, they're not artists. It won't. Let's not get too excited. And I went and saw the new movie. The first new movie. Force Awakens? I think that was the first one. And I found it enjoyable. It felt like a combination of. It felt like an interesting blend of the first movie and Empire. Like, a lot of people say it was just a retread of Empire. I don't feel that way. But it did feel like a blending of them. And it felt derivative, which is normal for Star Wars, so, you know, you can't hold that too much against it. Because, again, the fans don't allow for new things. Like, even, well, some fans. I can't generalize. Even, like, Solo, with all its problems, at least it did new stuff. And showed a different part of the world. And that movie tanked. And I don't think it tanked because of, like, being so dark I could barely see a lot of the scenes. I think it tanked because it didn't hit all the references people want to see. It didn't have Jedi. Didn't have X-Wings. It was just a heist movie. And I liked the heist aspect of it. I just like stories in Star Wars being told that aren't just, you know, basic action. It's like, when you think about it, like the original movies, oh, here we go, I'm gonna mess this all up. The original movies were like Cold War era, you know, big bad, bad, theoretically. Let's not apply that yet. Let's hide the front arm. It's distracting me. There we go. So the ethics, to get really, really lame about it, the ethics of Star Wars are a nightmare. Just genocide is a normal battle tactic in Star Wars. Like on both sides of the conflicts. There's no consideration for civilian life. It's just, you know, it's a horror show. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this layer. But that kind of simple-mindedness suited the time. I think audiences nowadays are more savvy than they were in the 70s and 80s, though. And I think that opens the door for more interesting stories. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of all this force magic. So that, need that. So that, yeah. So these are all, not you, all those are going in the trash. And this, whoop, whoop, has to come over here. This rules. Okay, and we'll bring the smoke down behind his head. Where's his head? There's his head. And behind the front arm as well. Oh no. Wait. I should bring it down all the way to the bottom. There we go. Okay, so this puts me in a bit of a bind front arm wise. Actually, maybe not. Yeah, this actually is getting, this may have made my job easier. I was worried that because his hand is like here, that I would have to bring this front arm way out here to be lighting the cigarette. But as it is, I think people are clever enough to understand that, like, the arms aren't shooting, the lightsaber's not shooting up through his other arm. It's in front of it. Maybe, yeah. Alright. I think it's fine. It's just a quick, fun sketch for fun times anyways. So, just a slight modification needs to happen here to the tune of just lassoing all this all the way down to his little elbow, and doing that, and just scooching it forward ever so slightly. And then I just need to lasso this. And rotate it ever so slightly. And maybe bring it down a bit. And his shoulders still align nicely. It's no big deal. Yeah, and I'll modify the smoke a bit to have the front end being just annihilated off and some sparks flying upwards. Ashed material. And obviously I need to clean up the lines. I'm always surprised when things go well. Okay. Let's get rid of you. It was kind of funny when the new Star Wars started being announced, and Disney announced that the expanded universe stuff was no longer canon, whatever canon means. And I remember thinking about my youth and the fact that I'd read like 200 of those books, and some of them were okay, and how many cool little stories in there were now just not real anymore, as if they'd ever been real. And it got me to thinking about the dangers of emotionally investing yourself in something that truly isn't yours. Because in the end of the day, like, regardless of all the marketing talk about how, like, you know, the fans, blah, 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 at the end of the day, it's not yours, and you shouldn't act like it is. So it got me to thinking more about the importance of making my own things, and I can invest my energy and emotional intelligence in those instead, and just enjoy or discount Star Wars for what it is. It's just another movie. It isn't your childhood or anything. It's just another movie. Movies can be important. Usually they aren't. And, what's going on there? Where are those lines? Those lines are a mystery. What layer are those lines on? What layer is that? Why does that layer exist? Okay, this layer is going in the trash. I don't know what that was. Basically, this might be because I'm old, but basically, I wish people looked at movies now like I did for most of my life, because most of my life, my childhood at least, was effectively pre-internet. Like, not in a real sense, because the internet's been around for many moons, but pre-ease of use internet. Like, when dial-up became more commonplace, I would go down to the public library and hop on those computers and browse Sonic the Hedgehog web rings, because I was big into Sonic the Hedgehog, even though I didn't have a Genesis. And, you know, get into the art for that, and, you know, like, look at other people's art. I didn't know how to use a computer at that time. But movies were just something you went and enjoyed or didn't. Or in my case, didn't go to because your parents didn't go to the movies. And you didn't go to the movies because your parents didn't go to the movies. And it was just a thing that you rented on your birthday. And you watched it and liked it or didn't. But with the, I guess, sophistication of society at this point, which isn't a bad thing, just people are more savvy than they used to be, and with that comes, I think, a glut of movie criticism, where people see people on YouTube being self-styled critics, and it gets your mind like thinking in the way of, well, I should be a movie critic too, because I did it. I don't really do it anymore, and I still enjoy some of the movie criticism that you can find on the internet. Like, I like Red Letter Media. But I think people would generally be happier if, instead of like trying to analyze every aspect of a film that they go see, just treat it for what it is. It's disposable entertainment. And then you go back to your real life, making things that matter to you. New layer, please. There we go. I think things are going well. There's going to be a lot of light, because it's a lightsaber. It's okay if I go back there. Just dab this in here. And I think I can get away with hiding the original colors. In fact, my lines may be closed enough that I can do the magic wand here. Yeah. Span the selection. And give it a fill-a-rooney. And oops. Oh, okay. Something about my 2-point gesture. There's a way of that being an undo, and I don't know what it is. But it messes me up a lot. Let's drop the opacity of all this so I can see the Sigo. And we'll go to the line layer. Get rid of that. Down to the Sigo. And the color. Down to the Sigo. Whoop. Perfect. Ish. But yeah, I went and saw the newest of the Star Wars sometime after Christmas or in January or something. It was just kind of funny because I was in this group chat at the time with a bunch of friends of mine, many of whom are big old Star Wars fans, and everyone kept saying, "Hey, when we all gonna get together and go see a Star Wars?" And we'd all just be kind of like, "Yeah, we should do that." And that would be the end of the conversation, because at this point, just no one's excited about it. Which is why things like The Mandalorian and the cartoons are so interesting to me, because people are excited about those. So clearly, A, something is being done right, and B, like, this thing has legs. Like, it's not like the universe is trash. It's just that, in my opinion, the bones aren't really there yet for like interesting storytelling, shackled by the tradition that has been established, and old fans, like people my age and older, refuse to let go of. Because when Force Awakens came out and Luke Skywalker had gone into hiding, and a lot of people were like, "Luke would never do that." I looked at it and I thought, this is a man who spent his entire, his formative years, not like a full-blown adult, but like coming into adulthood, fighting against this Empire thing, and became a Jedi and did his Jedi thing, and fighty, all the while never confronting the fact that the reason the Empire existed was the Force. The big bad was maintaining control over his empire because he was a Force Master. So it is a weapon, two-edged sword, as they say. He was trying to use it like in an egalitarian way, and the big bad was trying to use it to dominate, which is an interesting story. But the point is, Luke spent his whole life working towards that end, and then like the New Republic gets set up, and then all of a sudden it just gets smacked back down by the Empire. And then like Luke's prize student, child of his best bud, is maybe not the reason, but definitely a driving force behind the success of this new thing. That was my read on the movie at the time. And I was able to jump into Luke's perspective and be like, yeah, I agree. I would want to end what I was at that point as well, because it's not the solution, and it never has been. It just creates the next problem. It's like in Star Wars, every new big bad that causes mass suffering and mass destruction seems to come out of the Jedi through one form or another. And while they do a lot of nice things, theoretically, even though in the Old Republic there weren't that many of them, and they certainly didn't go everywhere a problem existed, and nothing they did couldn't be done by someone else. And also in the Legends stuff, there were other Force philosophies that didn't give rise to the false dichotomy between light and dark. So I dug where that story was going. I was like, yeah, he's being reflective on perhaps the suffering that the Jedi caused inadvertently, and he doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. I thought that was cool. And then I believe it was the second movie, the Rian Johnson one, where Kylo Ren and what's her face, all the heroes in these movies have 3 letters names, and I can't remember them. Rey. It was clear that, she wasn't brought up in a Jedi tradition. She had no loyalty to it, no reason to think that was what it should be. And Yoda did the thing where he burnt down the tree with the magic Jedi books in it, and it looked to me like they were setting us up for something new and interesting. And by the end, it was still Jedi versus Sith, blah blah blah, one religious extremist group versus another religious extremist group, retread. And while maybe a lot of fans aren't like vocally opposed to that, I think based on their box office decisions, they are at least conceptually opposed to it. I think people want new things, while also punishing new things, which is why I think the kids are the only solution, and people my age should just shut up about it. It's funny that I have so many thoughts about Star Wars when I thought, or I think, that I don't really care about it. It's probably, for the same reason people get so upset about it. It's probably because I spent so much time thinking about it as a kid, and it's hard to accept the fact that when in reality a lot of that time is wasted. I think that's one of the dangers of establishing culture around consumption of an entertainment product. I don't think entertainment is necessarily culture, and it certainly shouldn't play a part in your self-image or self-worth. I'm not going to put a lot of effort into this lightsaber, I'm going to be honest. A, because I have no idea what his lightsaber looks like. I'm not interested in finding a reference. And I don't think it's important for the image I'm making. And I'll give him a nice kind of a dark red switch. That's another little thing that in my childhood headcanon I thought was better than the reality. Because I thought that the lightsaber was something that only a Jedi could wield. And because I thought that, like, I thought it should be better. Because obviously, like, Luke could pick one up and turn it on before he knew how to be a Jedi. But I thought only a Force wielder should be able to wield it. And the way that that would work is instead of having a little button on the outside, you had to use your Force magic to turn it on. Like maybe you were focusing Force energy into it and it passes through the magic gem and becomes a big cool space blade. I just thought it would be a more interesting way of telling the story. Because then the Jedi would have to maintain concentration to fight correctly. I just thought it would be cool. But I don't own it, so I don't get to say. Let's try and make this straight. I don't know if that's okay or not. We'll see. I may have to at least move it around some. Okay, that ruler has to go. Early on, I made these guides. You can kind of see this purple line here. I made 3 of them to help me arrange the panels, and they've been causing problems ever since, and I keep forgetting to come down here with my mouse and delete the rulers. See how it cut my line short? Like, the rulers are powerful tools, but they're not suited to every task. Let's see here. What layer did... Ooh, where did I put the lightsaber blade? Okay, yeah, that's the foreground arm. Duh. Okay. Let's just try and... Because there'll be a lot of glow, so it doesn't matter if my lines aren't, like, super duper good. Okay. Let's give her a fill. Boop. Yeah, I think I want to move it this way a bit, so it's more centered on the tube. And that's cooler anyway, because it's kind of towards the end of the smoke. He's not wasting a bunch of it. There's one thing we know about Quigon Jinn. He don't waste smokes. I don't need those. Those lines can go in the trash. Okay, I think I've gotten to the point where I can do the details. I think in the second panel, I need to move the cigarette closer to him. I'm going to do that before I forget it again. Smoke. And a bit of a glow layer. And by grabbing that group, I've selected all the layers inside that group. And now I can manipulate them all at once. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Because, like in the first panel, it's open, and then he does this gesture and it rolls it. So it would move towards him a bit, I think. And then he's obviously brought it towards his mouth and caught it in his hand. Like maybe even that little gesture there is like, in addition to doing the force roll, he's also like readying his fingers to catch it. Star Wars would be so much better if everyone smoked. I know Disney can't make everyone smoke. It's just true. Okay. I want to start with the head. And I'm gonna select all the coloradoos. Am I? Should probably get on the correct layer. Coloroo, coloroo, coloroo. Coloroo. And then I'll have to manually grab the eyes. Oh, I'd have to remember to put the color and life back in his eyes. I'll do that right after this. Manually lasso the eyeball. Now I'll go back up to the glow layer. It should be clean at this point. Lay in some glow. I think it's good to start bigger and work smaller if you can. There's exceptions. And I've decided to do the bright parts first and then do the shadows later. And my arbitrary reasoning for that is a very bright light source. So I don't want to throw a bunch of shadows into the front of the face that look right before I put the light source in, and then have to like futz around with it later. Super daggone bright. It's a friggin' lightsaber, man. Those things are bright. Feather it back his nose a bit. I don't want to wash him out too much, basically. Real bright on his mustachio. Obviously real bright on his mouth. And his chin. Because right now, in the scene, the most powerful light source is definitely the lightsaber. So all shadows are dominated by that, in my mind. And I think I want there to be a pretty drastic drop off in light about halfway back. So I'll give him a little bit of shine around the edge there. Need to build up a bit, and because the head kind of, like once you get past the face, it kind of just comes back, like relatively straight. In my case, and in like Liam Neeson's case, it's a pretty straight shot. There's not a lot of added material on the sides. Like if he were like of Inuit origin or Native American, there would be more built up, like more powerful cheekbones, basically. But he's got white man head. Big oval. So that being the case, the shadows need to start coming in like here, I think. That's my uneducated opinion. But the hair does come out a bit, and down here it would come out a bit as it drapes over his shoulder. So it catch some light, I think. Let's give a bit more to the beard. I think it would be out of it. Not too much. Don't want to go too crazy. It's real easy to do too much when I'm doing a glow layer. I love glow. The eyes need to really be jamming. Yeah. Let's go a little hotter. Oops. Okay, that's actually this is fun. God, I love art. It's just fun. I gotta figure out a way to get paid to do this. Let's see here. I'm gonna do his torso glow next. That's very simple. And just magic wand all the colors. And I go back up to the glow layer. The glow layer is a pop-up layer for all the sub-layers. It's not in any of the folders, and you probably can't see it because it might be behind my head. No, it's not. You can see it. Yeah, the glow layer is the uppermost layer in the frame. So everything I want to put glow on, it's all on the same layer. And that's only in this case. In most other cases, the glow layers are specific to the whatever layer I'm working on. There'll be many glow layers. But in this case, since the glow is coming from such a powerful object, and I know it needs to impact all the layers pretty thoroughly, I felt it made sense to do it this way. Bigger brush. Lay it in first and then come back and do it needs to be real hot up here and taper off as it goes down below the hilt, where the hilt is creating a shadow. And I need to actually undo some of this. Oh wait, I don't want to use the lasso, I'll just use the eraser. Need to back this off. Smaller, just ever so gently feather it, because I feel like that would be more in shadow, because the robe is like it's like bunching up here. Okay, real bright out here, real bright right here. And yeah, just kind of fading out as it goes down. Less density and less paint. Bigger brush. Just feather it down. Yeah. Shouldn't unselect it. Okay. Now what I should do, this is something to keep in mind. I don't want to affect that front part of the robe anymore, so I'm going to alt select it. So now all the coloring I do over here will be in these lines, and it won't affect that part of the robe anymore. Let's grab this brush, small it down. Just a little bit there. It's mostly going to be in shadow. Up. His neck needs to be picking up some of that glow, baby. Some of that glow, baby. And then that'll be pretty. That upper part there will be pretty starkly in shadow because of the relationship between the chin and the neck. I think. That's my opinion. So unselect his neck and his shirt, and now I'm only working on the left side of his robe. His left, not mine. Glow brush. This is a bit further away. He did pivot this direction, and he is holding it in his left hand. So this should actually probably be pretty bright. Not that. That needs to fade out. This edge here, pretty bright. In fact, let's embiggen the brush. Just really mix it in here. Small it down, hit that edge hard, bring it out. Yeah. last night as I was working on the second panel, I felt like I was rushing, and that's why I stopped. I just wanted to get more done. I put in another hour last night, but I just didn't stream because I was kind of bummed out because the first stream, the audio was really bad. So I just did, I wanted to keep working on it, but I didn't want to, emotionally I wasn't there. So, I think next I need to select the front arm. Which is right here. Get my magic wand. Bap, bap. Now first thing I'm going to do is go to the glow layer, and you see how my overbrush from the torso, because the glow layer is on top of all the other layers, my overbrush from the torso is over the front arm. So to deal with that, I'm just going to, I have all the colors selected, and I'm on the glow layer. I'm just going to hit clear. And now I can brush in the glow layer for the arm without having to correct from my overbrush from the torso. Fun, fun, fun. In fact, I already see where this might be a problem. So I'm going to manually deselect this, and I'll manually deselect this, and now I'll manually add along that seam. Let's do that better. And maybe something like that. And then I'll manually add on this seam. Come back down. I just want to give him like a wrinkle in the robe. And I want the glow to cooperate without fighting me. Little one. The little kitty cat is fighting with this weasel back there. Whoops, too far. There we go. Okay. I think this will get me kind of close to where I want to go. We'll see how that works. Okay, I'm on the glow layer. Grab the right brush. Get in there. And I may have to come back to the torso, and I will have to come back to the torso and do some work up here. This is the hazard of breaking the arms and actually, at this point in the drawing, there's really no reason to have the arms and torso on different layers because I'm done moving things around. So it might be worth, like for future comfort, it's probably worth combining a lot of these layers down. Okay, so first things first, I'm getting rid of all the old add layers. Redoing all that anyway. I don't need any of the old multiply layers or the old additive layers. Redrawing all the shadows. I'll leave the smoke on its own layer. That doesn't matter. And I'll just pull these out of the folders and get rid of the folders. What are you? Don't need you. In the trash. In the bin. Folder. And all of you, come on out. And goodbye folder. Everything in the head folder, except the stuff I don't need anymore, in the bin. And you, in the bin. The rest of you, out. Okay, now I'm going to try and isolate all the line art layers. I'm messed up. That's lines. That's lines. That's not. Let's hide the glow. And where's the lightsaber? Where's the blade at? What layer did you end up on? Okay, and now on the torso layer, let's lower the opacity so I can see which lines are which. Let's get in here and clear some. You don't need to exist anymore, and you don't need to exist anymore. And none of you. In all seriousness, I don't think it's necessary to merge the line art layers at all at this point. It's just, I've started, so I might as well finish. And now I'm going to hide the front arm and get on the back arm layer. And I know that I don't need this. And I don't need this. Let's bring the front arm back. And I don't need any of this. Or any of this. And since I can see that my lines on the front layer are closed, I can magic wand it. And then I'll expand the selection a bit, not much. And I'll go back to the back layer and hit clear. That's fine. What's going on here? What's going on there? What are you? You're on the torso. But why do you exist? You don't serve a purpose. So you need to go away. And those little dots out there. Don't need those guys. And on the torso layer, need to, whoops, come back. Need to get rid of this neckline here. And this bit of shoulder. And with that, I can merge my line layers. What? What? Wonder why I don't have merge selected layers as an option. Do they all have to be next to each other? I guess they do. Now they're all next to each other. Shift select them all. Huh. They have to be next to each other. That's interesting. I never knew that. And now I will merge all the flats. So now, I can come through here with the lasso. What's up, crazy? Hi. Hi. Wild man. And come through here with the lasso. Just grab all the bits really want to modify. doing this is, I don't know if you suffered through the bad audio on the last stream, but there are parts where the two disparate groups of layers would come together, and I would have to just smudge around until it kind of worked to get rid of the obvious seams. And when all of the colors are on one layer for a character and all the lines are on a different layer, you don't have to do those workarounds. You do have to be a bit more finicky with your selections, but that's not a big deal. Let's redo this. Ah, no. Now hold down Alt. Actually, Shift. Let's grab some more of this. And now Alt. Kind of see how that looks. I may go back to just kind of using a real big brush and layering it in, erasing things out. I'm kind of experimenting right now. Let's feather this. Might be better to get the glow in and then later come in with the lasso and remove it where I don't want it. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Shrink that down, hit these kind of hard. Too far down into the crook of the elbow, because that's going to be in shadow. Feather it in. And if I were trying to do like a really cool professional illustration, I would use some brushes to texture the clothing, but that's not what we're going for. His Jedi robes. Kind of funny, in Return of the Jedi, like Luke was wearing his black jumpsuit, and my little child brain was like, that's bad guy clothes. Okay, now hit his hand. Not too hard. Smaller brush. The top of the hand obviously needs to be pretty thoroughly illuminated. Maybe a bit here for the pad on the back of the thumb. Just a smidge on the knucks. Not much. Don't need a lot going on here. Yeah, I think most of the hand will be cast in shadow. And now for the back arm, I think I do actually need... Where's the lightsaber blade? It was on its own layer, wasn't it? Was it? Nope, I merged it with the rest. Okay, that's fine. see. This time I'm going to select the back arm. I need to use the line art. I'm going to use the line art and select the back arm and the aspects of the back sleeve. It's important that these glow effects be laid in intelligently. I'll even come down here. Oh, did I not? I didn't close that line. Okay. Maybe I'll do that next. Okay. Back to the glow layer. Grab this bad boy. That hand needs to be just blown up with glowing because it's like right out there. See what's happening on the blade there because the glow layer is on top of the blade. That's not a problem, as I'm sure you've already figured out by now. We will just magic wand the blade and clear it when we go in to do our glow effects on the blade. Okay, and there's a little bit of arm down here that I missed. That's a line I need to correct. So let's deal with that. Right in here. This little line needs to not be here. And this back finger needs to be closed off. And I need to get that glow. And that, whoopsie. Magic wand. Glow layer. Just feather in the rest of that arm there. Make it match. Come down here. Line layer. Black. And close this line so I can magic wand select it. Whoops. That line's not closed either. Oh well, that sleeve will be in shadow, so that's fine. Come down here. Just bring this. Whoops. Glow effect doesn't work on black. Just bring the glow down a bit. Actually, you know what? No, that's all going to be shadow. Yeah, that'll all be dark. Okay. So, let's correct our lightsaber glow. Wrong layer. Okay, there we go. Go back to the glow layer, clear it. And now, I'm excited about this. I will, actually, let's grab it first on the correct layer. I'll grab that. I'll go to the lines and I will clear them. And now I'll go to the glow layer. And I will, oopsie, shift. I will expand my selection. Okay. Now, for the lightsaber, I have to have a relatively small brush. Come up the core. And a bigger brush. I need a background, don't I? I need a background. New layer. I'm gonna have to do my selection over again. That's annoying. I'll use black for now. Okay. And back up to the glow layer. So. Big brush. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. Okay. Need another layer and make it an overlay. Using the wrong color. Grab my spray paint. And back to this. Like that. Overlay. Clear. Let's mess with the settings on the overlay. Okay. Back to that layer. Spray paint. Smaller. Oh, I have to remove more line art. I wonder why. Oh, smoke's behind the background layer. Okay. Once I decide on a background color, I'll be able to do more with the lightsaber. Okay, and the smoke. Let's eradicate that. And ash. And a new layer up here. And make it an overlay. No. What does it need to be, an ad? I can't remember. I think I'll leave it normal and drop the opacity a bit. some shadows. Multiply. Where are you? Guess I'll hit his robes first. Get that color. Multiply there. Nice big brush. Bring the brush down, get in the nooks and the crannies. This is a very slapdash quick job. If I were trying to be good, I would definitely like really dive in real small to get the good folds of the cloth, you know. But I just kind of want to knock this out because I've probably spent 4 hours on this so far, and I have other things I have to make today. I gotta work on my Christmas comic, gotta study animation some more, gotta study digital painting some more. Like, this is the thing, I love drawing so much that I can just mess around with it pretty much all day and be happy. Just gotta trick somebody into paying me to do it. Like, it doesn't even have to be something, it doesn't even have to be my idea. Like, this is Raz's idea from the Discord. And like the community was like, yeah, Obi-Wan would totally vape. And I think Qui-Gon would roll his own, and on and on and on. And I was like, this rules. Like, this needs to be done. This has to happen. I think I'm actually happy with that. Okay, I don't think his shirt needs any shadows at all. So let's hit his neck, and head, and ears, and hands. Get that correct color going. I'm on the multiply layer. Darken it up here. Nope. Let's go more towards the yellow and down. No. Actually, no. It should be towards the pink. Down. Whoops. And a bigger brush with that tone again. Just to smooth it in. And then I'll grab this brush and embiggen it, lower the opacity. And I think these shadows should be pretty stark. Whoa, come back. Weird kind of muscle in the neck. Comes down. Okay. Let's get up here. Sides of the head are relatively squared off. This is cheekbone. Don't need to do too much here. Ear needs to drop back into shadow pretty darkly right there. Hit the edge a bit, not much. Line that up some. Hands out real fast. Back arm, I don't think I want to mess with. And his hair. Multiply. Brush. Big brush. Just get the big values in first. And small it down. Smaller still, more paint, more density. Just get some of the life of the hair in there. Oops. wants me to stand up. Sorry to disappoint. Wristwatch. A little bit towards the front, not a lot. Just need to get a bit of texture and nothing else. Again, if this were a serious doodle, I would be putting a lot more care into this hair. But this is just a fun goof. I have to keep saying that to remind myself of it. Or I would spend ages on this, because I may not have liked the movie Qui-Gon very much, because he was a big dumb idiot. But I do like this drawing of him. A bit bigger, less paint, less density, and less color stretch. Darker. Right now I'm making a mistake, and I'm doing both details and shadows. I'm just kind of jumping back and forth between the two. I think that's probably a dumb way of doing it, but it's just the way I happen to be doing it right now. Smaller, more density, more paint. Oh, Qui-Gon. When did you get so cool? Okay, I'm gonna throw in a cheap background. And then copy it down to the other layers. And call it squaresies. Where do we go for cheap backgrounds? Why? To the gradients, our favorite enemy. Why? Oh why, oh why, oh why, why oh why, why is that green? Okay, that's white, let's make it white, and register all changes, yes, and let's see what happens here. Nothing good, that's for sure. Hate messing with these stupid gradients. They just don't make any sense how they change. Nothing about them makes sense. Like, I have to futz around with this, and I guess this is now the topmost, so... No, it's not. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. Come on. There we go. problem I'm running into is my force magics are blue. So blue background doesn't play well with it. And I have a feeling this green is going to look quite awful as well. Yeah, yes it does. What if that's actually not terrible. I may just leave that. See what it looks like. I don't want to spend forever on this thing. Maybe I'll throw some stars in if I'm feeling fancy. Obviously the lightsaber needs a little love. Don't know what happened there. Oh, that's cool. What's going on here? What is this? What is that big lump? Where's that coming from? The glow? Really? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Can I rescue it? Whoa. Brush density way down. I have created a problem for myself. What is that? What is this? Where are you coming from? Okay, I think the overlay layer needs to go for now. We'll figure that out later. What are you? Are you anything? Okay. big. Let's go bigger. Let's go even bigger. Add a new layer. And add glow. Just be cool about it. Be cool about it. Oops, no, didn't mean to undo. Don't know how I did that. Redo. Back to the original glow layer. A little bit of white. Real small brush. Wait, white doesn't work on glow layers. I keep forgetting that. Smaller brush. Okay, that's better. That was a close one. Interesting thing going on there. I mean, it looks cool to me, but I don't think it's what I intended. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's see what it looks like with stars, and I may recopy the background. Just grab some white, and maybe the tone scraping, make it huge. That might distract from the force magic, huh? But if I lower the opacity by a lot. Okay, let's get rid of the big ones. And just lower the opacity down. What if? No. I think the stars are okay. I'll brighten them up a bit. Yeah, old quigon's just out at night enjoying a smoke. Copy. Paste. And bring them down. Come on down. Okay. There we go. Qui-gon Jinn. Smoking. I have no idea how long I've been going. But I think I'm done. Just now noticed my drawing pad is touching the microphone, so that's not good. But anyways, I'm going to save this, render it out as a PNG maybe, and throw it up on the Discord, chop it into 3 chunks maybe, see how that looks. Thank you for watching. Hope you had a good time. I don't know if I'll draw more Star Wars people smoking or not. I do have other things I would like to put some time into. I just get distracted by other people's good ideas. Robot eyes. Robot eyes. Okay. Thank you for watching again. Take it easy.